Everyone, Dave Shinsky at Baseball Rebellion here. I'm going to do a breakdown of Japanese sensation Shohei Ohtani. He's 22 years old, 6'4", 205 pounds. Has been clocked at over 102 miles an hour. He sits 95 to 97. But as you see in this breakdown, I'm going to take you through a lot of different views of his fastball and his off speed, and just wanted to show you how deceptive he is through his movements, and why he has 174 strikeouts and 140 innings and just 45 walks. He pitches in the Japanese Pacific League, and he throws a split finger curveball slider, and I think it's more of an eephus pitch than a curveball, but we'll look into that in this breakdown. Okay, so let's get started. Really quickly, I want to start with his windup or lack thereof. He kind of goes out of the stretch. I think he moves his front foot just a little bit as he gets into it, but again, he gains a lot of momentum with this lower half as he starts to go down the hill. I want to talk about how he breaks his hands as well. So again, he breaks his hands and he gets this this ball to be behind his back leg for a while. Now I teach this hug a tree position of basically I could fit a ball into this area. If I were to hug a tree again, I would look like this, but he kind of hides the ball pretty well, and his arm doesn't really go up until he starts to open up his lower half. And I think this is why he throws so hard, is because his arm instantly starts to drive up towards the sky with that elbow hike, but it turns over, and at foot strike he gets to this really good position at 90 degrees behind his head. Again, I talk about like Aroldis Chapman with being able to see his whole lower half, both his glutes and this heel facing back towards center field, and his arm at 90 degrees. So again, I think the hardest throwers get into this separation of shoulder and front hip, back shoulder and front hip separation through rotation. Again, he's going to throw a fastball up in the zone here, and he stays really, really good through the pitch. And then he has this little, I think once he tries to hump up on his fastball, he has a good follow through, but then he's got this like hop out of it. So he puts a little bit more on it, and you see that's 160 kilometers an hour, and that's close to 98, 99 miles an hour in miles per hour. So this pitch is again up in the zone. You see it from a different view here with a leg drive. First, again, I talk about having an imaginary line behind my glutes, and I'm trying to drive down it or behind it, along with letting my knee and ankle drive with it. And this guy is just really, really good at creating that down, getting down low. I talk about staying tall to get small with my young kids. All right, look at how tall he is. This guy's 6'4". All right, he stands tall, but as he starts to go, all right, he gets small. So he's like almost sitting into a small sports car, and then driving that knee and ankle with him. So again, as he starts to open up, I could see his almost his whole belt. And this is a view from the right hand side of the left hand side of the batter's box. So again, I can almost see his whole belt, and his shoulders are still closed. All right, the hardest throwers again do this, the most efficient, and again he's into the ground, and he is 90 degrees behind his head. We talk about being in a healthy position at foot strike. That's the most efficient, healthy way to keep your arm healthy. Again, not facing this ball to center field or second base, really changing that posture really well. As he starts to get back, you'll see his chest move. Again, he's using more of his torso and upper body, chest area to move into this posture change into foot strike through the throw. Okay, really good external rotation here as he's inside of his body into a good brace up of his front leg, and then he hops out of it with his unorthodox kind of style of finish. But again, really effective and deceptive through his movements and staying through his throw. Now on this one, this is a really cool view, and you can really see how he drives off his back, from his back glute, with his knee and ankle driving. And again, he hides the ball pretty well, keeps his glove back, and as he's getting into foot strike, you can see, okay, when that foot hits, I would say that's foot strike there, 90 degrees behind his head, creating that deception of hiding the ball until he explodes forward. And again, I would say he explodes from a standpoint of his hips aren't open, his hips aren't open, and then they start to just drive open as he's getting the ball up. And it's that chain of command when you're talking about kinetic chain of instantly foot hitting, arm coming through 160 kilometers an hour with a jump back finish. All right, so I'm going to go over, that's his fastball. I want to go over his curveball now, or like I think it's an ephus pitch, as you'll see here, with his rotation and how he releases the ball. But again, really good job staying through his mechanics, staying the same, getting to that 90 degrees behind his head. Again, you can't tell as a hitter if this is a fastball or a slider or a curveball or a split finger, which many hitters are looking for the spin on the ball, and it's hard to do that when the ball's coming from the same spot over and over and over again. Again, really great job through his mechanics, staying into his external rotation inside of his body. This is, again, why I think he's going to be a really good future big leaguer, because his accessibility, right? He's not going to be hurt. He's a really good candidate to pitch along into, I think, his 30s, and stay healthy if he keeps these mechanics. So again, he's only 22, and really, really impressive kid to watch, to pitch. And I think you're going to see this guy's name really soon, next year maybe, in the big leagues. Again, this is his curveball as he stays through his finish, really aggressive. I really love the way he uses his front side half on this, I would say the glove side half, through this curveball, and he doesn't have quite such a big finish on this one. Again, I just don't think he's trying to put that much on it. He's just trying to let the ball do the work, and his finish do the work through his throw. And I want to show you what I mean when I talk about his release point. Okay, so this is a really cool, again, angle of his arm letting go of the body, or letting go of the ball. So you see this kind of U-shaped. So the ball, I think, is almost facing up. So most of the ball is facing up towards the sky here, as he lets go of this ball, as you see here, and that's more of like I said, what they teach in Japan of these ephus pitches, where the ball comes off of their hand in this U-shaped, and as they come through the ball, they throw it like a curveball because they're pronating again into their body. Okay, so his fingers are going around the ball again into a nice pronation, which is, again, the most the most efficient way of throwing a curveball. Think about how he throws a fastball and how he throws a changeup. He lets that ball go, and his hands pronate through. This guy is really impressive, really a tall guy, and again, he doesn't just throw shutouts and strikes people out. He's a really, really good hitter as well. I think he's hitting like 322 with 22 bombs in like 350 at bats. He really stays calm through his face, which I like. And again, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the starting pitching department in the MLB coming up really, really soon. So watch out for this guy, this young kid, 22. Shohei Ohtani. He's got a 1.86 ERA in the Japanese league and over 140 innings. So that was my breakdown of Shohei Ohtani, 22 years old, Japanese Pacific Leaguer. Really good, young, exciting player. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.